Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to Sprocket, and this is just a video going to be showing off some miscellaneous tanks, but also saying that I have now got all of my tanks on a Google Drive, which will be, the link of which will be in the description, which will just allow you to download any of these tanks for yourself, or indeed armoured cars for yourself if you ever wanted to use them or test them yourself. Or put them into scenarios or whatever you want to do, then you can go ahead and download them from there and play around with them, maybe make some variants of your own perhaps. But yeah, so that's the main thing for this video, but then also I wanted to show you a couple of miscellaneous wheeled vehicles for the most part that I have made, starting off with this, which is, you'll recognise it as the Sonderkraftfahrzeug 235, aka my Puma knockoff. There's the original if you either haven't seen the video or have forgotten what it looks like. This is my knockoff pack Puma. It's probably one of my most successful wheeled vehicles. It's just a very good all-round heavy armoured car with a 50mm pack gun in it for anti-tank work. But as we know, the Puma didn't just have a 50mm. There's the stats, the 50mm. It also had a 20mm flank gun in it, and that's what the 235-1 is. This is just a pack Puma, but with a 20mm instead of the with a 20mm instead of the 50mm. And I've also given it some extra radio stuff as well. It's essentially, yeah, just a scout variant of the pack Puma. And yeah, it's just got a little 20mm, which is quite rapid firing, as we can see. About a 2-second reload time between each shot, and yeah, it's good for just sort of harassing tanks, so we can just spawn something like this and just sort of harass it. Unfortunately, we don't have the turret traverse to really do anything, but there you go. Hit it once, hit it again. No, we missed. Ow, he's hitting me. Ow. Yeah, but either way, it's just a 20mm version of the pack Puma. Sorry, not pack Puma, the knockoff pack Puma. This is just the knockoff regular Puma. So that's it for the German stuff, and then the other thing that I have is some armoured cars based on the British. And these are some of my favourite armoured cars. They're named after another fake company that I made for the Brickrig's steam engines that I made ages ago. And this is based on Phoenix Steamworks. It's a light armoured car, Mark 1. What is it? Early war armoured car. If you recognise the design, it's because I sort of tried to do that armoured car design. And I had to mess around a lot with the freeform hull in order to get this to work, but work it does, and yeah, I think it's one of my best looking armoured cars outside of the pack Puma and its variants. Yeah, I think it's just a decent looking car, especially from the back. As you can see, the rear engine with the engine compartment is all at the back, and then we've got the main fighting compartment and the rest of the hull straight forwards, and then we've got the good old British turret with a good old British 2-pounder gun, because what else would we mount in our vehicles other than a 2-pounder gun for the early war period? So yeah, it's just a light scout car. We've got the 2 radios there, we've got some ventilation at the back, and then it's a 4-man crew with a commander / loader, gunner, driver, radio operator. They've got some hatches to get out. Pretty fast, 22 miles an hour. Hatch at the top. Some spare wheel on the back, some crew stuff on the side, spare bit log as well, and some tools, along with, you know, the lights at the front as well. But yeah, so the 2-pounder gun, the 2-pounder anti-tank gun, actually has a 62mm of penetration, which is not too bad. Engine-wise, it's got a 6-litre V6, just the default starting engine. Which is, yeah, not too bad. Up the RPM. And armour-wise, yeah, it's got 35mm frontal armour, 35mm there, 10mm upper roof bit, but still, you know, 25 side armour, and 20mm rear. Obviously, a bit of extra thickness due to the spare wheel, but otherwise, yeah, it's all just 20 mil, 25 and then 30 at the front. So yeah, really nothing too overly complex, but it is just a light scout car. Nice little light scout. Decent reconnaissance, decent mobility. Again, I changed the suspension to be more armoured car-like. Let's just see if by upping the RPM I increased its top speed. If anything, it's probably reduced it, knowing how Sprocket works, or doesn't work rather. But yeah, it's just a little armoured car. I do have 2 more variants of this, which just slightly change a few things. But here we go. We're on the straight. We're on the road. We can accelerate, and yeah, 17 miles an hour. It is slower by upping the RPM. But no matter. That is the Mark 1. So the Mark 2 variant here, it's I don't know if it's slightly bigger. I might have changed it. I might not have done. But the main difference here is a longer to barrel 6-pounder gun. 74mm of penetration. Still early warp, so this is just sort of like late war in France. So yeah, 57mm 6-pounder, 74mm of penetration. Mobility wise, 7.5 litre V6, mainly focusing on mobility improvements, and still 45mm of frontal armour as well. It was upped with 30mm of side armour and remaining with the 20mm of rear armour. So nothing too amazing has changed. None of the fixtures changed either, nor did the crew change. Mostly it's a mobility and firepower increase. Slower firing but more heavy hitting 6-pounder anti-tank gun, and it's pretty much the same mobility wise for top speed. It's there you go. Kill off the Landship Mark III. But yeah, so that is the Mark II variant of the light armoured car to go along with the Badger. But the final variant of this, which takes us into the mid-war to be used throughout the rest of the duration of the war, the hull has been widened. The turret has also been widened to accommodate a longer-barreled 6-pounder gun with 99mm of penetration. We've also got a far bigger engine as well, again mainly focusing on turning this from a mainly focusing on turning this into a true reconnaissance tank, reconnaissance armoured car. So a 10-litre V8 is mounted in the back here, which was also elongated backwards. So yeah, elongated backwards, elongated wider, and yeah, it's generally just a faster tank, faster armoured car now, with a better anti-tank gun, but mostly it's really for reconnaissance. Just sort of like the British realised that this wasn't an effective anti-tank armoured car, so they just focused on getting good radios and making it a true reconnaissance vehicle by fitting a just generally far more powerful engine in it, and setting it off. So it does actually have an improved top speed as well over the others, which went at 22 miles an hour before we changed the RPM. There we go, 21 and 22, and we're still climbing. So it gets up to about 27 miles an hour, I believe. We just get it on the straightaway. 24, 25, 26, 20, just under 26. Sorry, just under 27, but still an improvement over the original Scout car. So for the deserts of North Africa, trundling over the sand dunes, this perfectly fine. As we hit the invisible wall and die. But yeah, so that's all of the interesting tanks I have that I don't want to show off in their own separate video. So yeah, just a couple of armoured car variants, but also mostly Google Drive for anyone who wants to use these themselves. So I'll thank you all for watching, and goodbye.